hat the first time, but Leni Hoppenworth is active in Indivisible, and you are currently setting up these very important deputy voter registrar trainings, which I get to take on Monday.
Yeah.
Yes. So, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Katie.
It's great to have you and see you. And you are just continuing to fight the good fight. Since you were here for the Women's March 2 years ago, what and how did you get involved in Indivisible? And tell people what Indivisible is.
Sure. So after the Women's March, there was so much energy. I had a lot of energy. I wanted to do something. I wanted to do something locally. And I heard about the Indivisible Guide, which actually lived on Google at the time. It was started by 2 ex-congressional staffers. And basically what they did is they took all the parts of the Tea Party movement. They took all the bad stuff out, like spitting on your representatives and things like that. And they kept all the good stuff, which is basically you have a right to have a relationship with your representative. And you mentioned Michael Tranchikowski. She's my representative, and
ours,
all of ours.
She's fantastic,
We're lucky,
right? So the first time that we had a recess after the march, we were called to go and visit our representative. But so we decided to, since Jan is so fantastic, to thank her. So we had a Jan fan rally, and at that time we didn't know her. They didn't know us. But basically, we called them up and said, hey, we're part of the Indivisible movement, part of a network of over 6,000 groups across the nation fighting. Basically, they began the movement to resist the Trump agenda. But, in Illinois, we say we want to do this despite who's in office, because it's important for us to have civic engagement. Maybe if we did, then we wouldn't be in this position today. But this is a great opportunity, and that's the reason why we're moving forward locally.
So there seem to be different chapters in different parts of the city and suburban area. So, I mean, there's a Southside Indivisible that was very active in Beverly, I know, and there's the 9th CD chapter. Is that the one you're part of? There's also the Evanston chapter. So how do you guys all communicate?
Yeah, so you know how it is with this stuff. We kind of live and die on social media, but what we decided to do is that it was worth it for us to write down, find all of the Facebook groups, write down all the contacts, and get together once a week. So we all get together once a week on Wednesday evenings and talk about the local events that are happening in our areas. And also
go ahead.
And also work on actions moving forward. So, yeah. So we get together once a week. We on the phone, and then we also have a national bi-monthly call with other indivisible groups across the nation. We also get together online. We use Facebook, we use email, we use Slack. But the best is actually getting together in person, which is why I hold weekly meetings in the 9th District. Because I feel like getting together like you do, like you've been doing for 30 years now.
Here on the radio.
Yeah, well, I think it's just really important, that human contact. I think that might be the reason why we are here anyway, is because we have lost that human contact. I think it's important to make eye contact with people.
Go, girl. That's excellent.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So let's back up a little bit. You had some endorsed candidates in the March primary. How did they do? How did you folks do around that organizing?
Well, we were heartbroken to not win in the 3rd District with Marie Newman. But what an amazing fight.
Wow, that was.
Like 1,400 votes or something like that. And so you think about, what's 1,400 votes? How many phone calls was that?
Yeah.
And how many doors was that we didn't knock? I want to focus on the positive because it was a very close race and a very short time period too, right?
Right.
That we were able to mobilize.
What was the time period that Indivisible and our allies got involved in that far southwest side
I feel
race?
like it was just mere months.
Well, it was mere months. So, but I mean, I'm curious. Was it 2 months or was it 4 months?
It
Because that also is the 1,400 votes.
You know,
The
you're right.
timing.
I think that people knew that it was an important race.
Right,
But in fact, this is what I'm talking about. The idea in your head to actually translate it into action takes a bit of time for some folks.
absolutely.
So we just need to think about that. And you know, the best way to actually get people to do things is to invite them. And the best way to
Yes.
invite them is to do it in person.
Yeah.
So, and to do it in person, you need to, you know, collect and gather and organize. So that's what we're trying to do. And this is something that's very new to a lot of the leaders. You know, you're telling us that a lot of these groups popped up all over the state. Well, it was very organic.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
It was very organic. And
What a brilliant move by those former congressional aides to kick this off right after the election of the current resident.
yeah, and they're just like us. You
Yeah.
know, they were devastated too
Right.
after the elections.
Yeah,
And sitting together, having drinks, and writing on cocktail
probably
napkins.
multiple drinks.
Yes.
If I recall correctly, the November of 2016 that I remember was a lot of drinking and
Yeah.
other things.
Yeah, and the thing is, I was not politically active before this, but what I have come to understand is that that guide was not written to give us hope. It was written to give us power. So we should use our power to make change when we can.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Also kind of a blueprint. It was giving us a blueprint.
So we look back a little bit, looking forward. What do you think individual will be doing around the governor's race?
Indivisible, what will we be doing?
Yes.
Well, we have said, everyone, you know, we need Rauner out of office.
Right.
There is no other way to get Rauner out of office but to go out and vote.
Right.
And we need to vote for the best candidate that's out there, and that's J.B. Pritzker, who's going to do the job for us.
Yeah. Yep.
Going down the ballot, what other races are you looking at in particular that might intrigue individual?
Well, the 6th district for sure, Peter Roscom, especially us in the 9th district, a lot of us are mobilizing to the 6th district. In fact, we're going to have the campaign come out to speak to us at Vincent's, and that's on the 21st later this month. That's Monday. We have wine and cheese at Vincent's. It's usually going to be on the last Monday of every month, but this, month it's Memorial Day, so that's the 21st at Vincent's. But
And that's at 1575 West Balmoral.
That's
1475.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
Balmoral and Clark. But the 6th district for sure, and then the 12th district, which is Mike Bost.
Say that name again.
Bost in the 12th district.
Who's he running against?
And he is running against,
Okay, we'll look it up.
you know who he is.
Yes,
The
I know.
12th district. And then, sorry, Scott, he's cringing right now in Springfield. Springfield is also another one, that's Rodney Davis. But also closest to us is the 14th district, which is Hulkren's district.
Right.
Which Hulkren and Peter Roscom are kind of like twins.
Right.
And so both of them have to go. But the one that's running against Hulkren is Lauren Underwood. And she's a long shot is what they say, but we have so much grassroots energy in that district, which is a crazy long district.
Yeah, is that, can you describe where that is for people roughly? Is it the western suburbs?
It's the western suburbs, but it starts in Wisconsin.
It goes
kinda
all the
comes
way down.
Yeah. Not all the way to Indiana, but it comes down centrally and it kind of is long. It kind of hugs the 6th and the comes, yeah,
Right.
by the 11th district too. This whole movement has made me look at maps. I
I
was
bet.
never a map person, so. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's another race that we are thinking of. But I just want to say that not only is the governor's race and the congressional races are important, there are many races down the ballot that we need to think of. Everyone should come in November with an interest in a race. If it's not the governor's race that you're excited about, how about your own congressional representative? How about your state rep? I mean, we
Absolutely.
have all of these people that need to be reelected, all the way down to water reclamation. So
That's
think
right.
on that.
That's right. We'll certainly be covering all those.
So after those down ballot races get decided in November, we turn right around and end up with municipal elections. What do you think Indivisible will be doing around the mayor's race?
Oh, I think it's going to be so interesting. I can't wait. Like I said to you last time, I was never really interested or involved in politics because I felt like it didn't really matter. And whatever I did, it did, everything was already a lock-in or a shoe-in or whatever. But I think it's going to be very interesting to see, like, for instance, who is running, right? And also to see who folks are, who are going to back up. Indivisible National has a blueprint on how to endorse candidates, which is really fascinating, and that's the reason why Marie Newman was endorsed. So we'll see what happens in the mayoral race.
Can I ask if you have a personal interest in any of the 8 who already announced?
No, I don't. I mean, not at this time. I feel like in fact, I'll put it out there right now. I would love to work with anyone who's interested in helping us do a voter guide. Because Indivisibles, they don't necessarily want to plug into a campaign. They want to work on the issues.
Mm-hmm.
But what are those issues?
Mm-hmm.
What are issues that are important to us? And then how do the candidates line up? So a nice big grid would be really great to present to, like, friends and family who have not been interested in politics before, but they could see it on a nice looking grid and say, yes, this candidate definitely represents me. Or, they can also see on this grid that not everybody checks their boxes off, but this is the best candidate.
Mm-hmm.
That's the issue also. It's like nobody is perfect.
I've made voter guides all my life. I actually have a voter guide on my computer for the national races because this November we have to get a brand new Congress, and both representatives, congressional and Senate. So I have one if you need it.
I would love it. Thank you, Katie. I love you.
Well, I love you, and I love what you represent, which is folks new to the scene getting involved in the politics, because so many people say, "Oh, it's just so corrupt," and they back away, and that ticks me off. It's like, it's your government, and if your clean hands don't touch it, only the dirty ones will. Okay, Michael, you have a question. I can guess what it is. Go for it.
Go ahead. Let's see if you can guess.
How did you get involved in this? Or
No, that's not a joke. But if we've exhausted enough questions on Indivisible,
It's going to be about photography.
I'm going to say that since you were on our show last time, you went off and started a photography studio.
Yeah.
And can you tell us a little bit, because we've got a couple photographers, Tom and I both shoot cameras regularly, shoot at cameras or shoot with cameras.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But how about telling us about your studio?
Well, I do. I have a business. It's called Chicago Dance Supply, and I sell dance shoes and tutus and things like that. So
Ooh.
I do headshots for dancers and performance photography, but also, with the last, thank you. So with the last, how amazing is it, this time that we live in right now? If you're not taking pictures on your phone, you are not documenting history. History is happening right now, and especially with these kids that have organized the March for Our Lives movement, I'm telling them, you have to document everything that you do, because this is incredible. And also, if you're not in this movement now, look at what you're missing out on.
Well,
Well-
that's an enthusiastic pitch to get plugged in.
Yeah, us older guys have taken pictures for a long time, and it's really a wonderful experience going back and looking at them and then remembering and bringing them up again as they're relevant.
I mean, we take a lot of candid pictures because, there's so many rallies and signs and people talking, but there's also, I didn't realize this, there's a lot of theatrics in politics.
Oh yeah. It's grand theater. And on that level, I want to switch now to national. And this may be asking you more personally. I'm not asking you to speak on behalf of Indivisible, but it's not too early to be looking at whatever happens with the current occupant of the White House over with his legal problems. Who's emerging in your mind as a potential challenger to the current regime?
God,
I appreciate
Oh,
that
God.
we're working down
Well, I
ballot
think he's
to build
busy,
up.
or she's busy, God. But if we've got someone other than God to run,
Oh, well, gosh, it's such a tough thing to say, you know. I think here's what I feel like is a problem, kind of. And I don't know anything for anything, right?
stop saying that.
But it's true. But listen, we cannot wait for like the next Messiah to come and save us. It is
Right
not
on.
going to happen. Look in your own circles and think about who is the leader in your groups. Those are the people that you need to keep encouraging, to
Nice
keep
going,
involved.
Lenny. Nice
This is the
going.
way to do it.
Excellent. Wow, Lenny Mana Hoppenworth, what a treat to have you back.
Thank you so much,
And
Katie,
thank
Tom,
you
and
for your
Michael.
ongoing
Awesome.
activism. It's inspiring to everyone, and you keep it up, and you'll be bringing more people into the fold. So we'll have you on again, I'm sure. You are listening to Live from the Heartland, as we are here every Saturday morning. WLUW.org is where you can find us live streaming. And
Worldwide.
worldwide, and you can also like us on Facebook, check us out on YouTube at Live from the Heartland /
Heartland Media.
Heartland Media, that's it. And we're going to have some music here. Again, happy Cinco de Mayo. Me gustas tú.